The long-awaited, much-anticipated Mueller report has been published. People are now poring over the 400-page document, which examines alleged Russian interference in the 2016 US election and the conduct of President Trump and his campaign team. One key question is whether the president undertook illegal action to thwart the investigation itself. The report says that investigators were unable to clear the president of having obstructed justice and that there is evidence that he sought to seize control of the inquiry. But it also says there was not sufficient evidence of illegal collusion between the Trump team and Russian officials. Now, the president's legal team claims that Mueller's findings amount to a total victory. Here's President Trump a short while ago.
I'm having a good day, too. It was called no collusion, no obstruction. I'm having it. There never was, by the way, and there never will be.
Well, he's happy about it. Let's get more from DW correspondent Helena Humphrey in Washington. Welcome, Helena. How far through this 400-page opus have you got? What have we learned?
I am getting there, Phil. Certainly a very long document, 450 pages, a novel-length tome. Currently combing through it. I want to show you some of the redactions, of course, because that was one of the key issues. You can see this page, for example, is completely blacked out. But as to the good stuff, what we have learned so far, well, what I can tell you is that this report has concluded that there was substantial evidence that the firing of the former FBI Director James Comey was specifically linked to the Russia investigation, and that the president was dissatisfied with the fact that Comey would not say that the president was not under investigation. Some other things we've been learning, that polling data was handed over during the 2016 presidential campaign to Russian contacts for far longer than we thought, that the president is likely sympathetic to his former campaign chair, Paul Manafort, who was convicted of lying under oath about the extent to which he was speaking to that Kremlin-linked lawyer, that Mueller was not satisfied with the written answers he obtained from President Trump, but did not choose to subpoena to obtain a sit-down investigation conversation with the president so as not to delay this investigation, that during the course of this investigation he turned up 14 other avenues of criminal inquiry, and that he could not rule that there was no criminal conduct during the course of this investigation. I just want to give you a snippet of the language here. The office determined that certain individuals linked to the campaign did lie to investigators about campaign contacts with Russia and have taken other actions to interfere with the investigation. That's what we're learning so far, Phil.
OK, so we just saw a clip of the president. He seemed very happy about it. Tell us more about his response.
Right, Phil. He was speaking there at the White House to wounded troops at an event there, saying it's a very good day for him. He's certainly been tweeting left, right and centre today, saying that this investigation was an example of presidential harassment, repeating that refrain of no obstruction, no collusion. And whatever people decide after reading this report, I think it's fair to say that among his base, these very simple refrains of no collusion, no obstruction, sentences people can grab onto, usually prove fairly effective.
And briefly, Helena, the criticism the Attorney General has faced, he held a press conference before this was published. Why was he being criticised?
The Democrats were essentially saying that this was his attempt to spin the report before it was released to them just a matter of hours later. And I think, bearing in mind, taking a look at the level of redaction, they will likely subpoena now to obtain full access to that report, as well as the underlying documents. They're accusing the Attorney General of being biased towards the president.
Helena Humphrey in Washington, thank you.